Well, this is a picture of a 49. This is the rear crash bar here and the buddy seat rail support. There's springs, whichever you want to call it. See the springs with the buddy seat support for your passenger. And right there is a nut. This is a 49. Unfortunately, I don't have my 49s here to show you on a bike. That's a buddy's 49 who sent me the photo. We're having this discussion. It's important. And this here, you can see on my high-end 49 that I used to have, you can see this thick nut right there. You follow? Let's go have a look at some bikes and do a little discovery here. So, come on with. I'm going to need you to hold the camera if he's going to help me out. So let's go look at 47 and see what that has over here. And here we have a much thinner nut there with a nut in back of it on 47. That's, I don't know if it shows up on camera or not. Let me get a flashlight. Hold that. Okay, let's get a flashlight and have a look. Okay, so we have, this is a nut here, right here on my finger. This way. There we go, there's a nut. Oh, let me get the camera. You're not doing an angle, right? Hold on. In they go, not right now. Not right now, boo-boo. Okay, that is a nut right there. With a thinner nut than what's on that 48. Or what appears to be a thinner nut, or 49 rather. Not the chewy ball, not right now. Hold on. But a thinner nut than what we're about to show you. There's a 40 here. And it has a round washer spacer there. You think. No, that's not what I'm saying. We're just seeing the lock tab. No spacer on this one, on this 40. With a thin nut. Now that's real interesting. Okay, so no washer on this 40. Let's check this 41 here. No washer on that. Right? Let's check the later 47. And this has the nut here. There. With the thicker bolt there, or thicker nut there. So, unfortunately, I don't have that on the police 40, so we can't compare there. Now we go to the 42. Now this bike here, what I'm doing is I'm upgrading the chrome with original correct pieces. And what I discovered is the rear crash bar had been taken off and they just put in just standard bolts. Here's one of them here with a nut. So this is very late model bolts that somebody put in. But if you don't have the right tools to reach in here and move this stuff around, nothing aligns. It's very difficult. So somebody just got tired of messing around or didn't have the right tools when they took off this style crash bar. Now remember, this was an unused police bike. So, and they moved the toolbox forward at the factory. See the stock mount here, where this would normally go, has no wear. So this is a factory deal that somebody requested, which indicates it would have had the bigger rear crash bar. Or no crash bar at all, pick one. But it came with this here, which would indicate probably a rear crash bar, probably the rear crash bar. It came with a chrono package. is an unused police bike, essentially, for lack of a better term, even though the guy intended to keep it as his own wheel. It was still a police order. So even though I don't have DSL photos, chances are it had this style rear crash bar. Although I got it with that style rear crash bar down there. So what we're having a discussion here, let me see this, is what style, what have you went where. So as you see, this requires this spacer. And it has these round nuts here, which are slotted. This fender itself is slotted, so it doesn't turn. It has these skinnier nuts here in the front. Now I put the lock washers on. I don't know if you can see it or not on camera, because I like lock washers, but the factory kit did not come with lock washers. Now I got that out of a new old stock rear crash bar, which I happen to have two. And we're going to open the other one on camera and see whether or not it has the same deal in it. So let's go over here. That's why I hope he's helping me, because I can't open it. Remember, don't get in trouble. Don't get in trouble. We'll go to the park later. Don't get in trouble. No chili ball right now. Later. 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 Be patient. As soon as they get patient, they get to do fun things. So let's go in the gold room here. So I didn't have only but one of the rear mounting bolts. So I figured, well, since I got this, let's see what we got. So I opened this kit up on this old stock rear crash bar, and lo and behold, here's the mounting bolts for the bottom. And it was, which I assumed it would have the top bolts, but it had the complete bolt kit set in it too. So I assume this one has the same thing. I don't know. And I got these from a buddy of mine a few years back, and they're just waiting for the right bike to put them on. But until I have the new set of bolts, you know, I know what they are. I'd rather have the right bolts as opposed to old dude bolts on an original paint bike, even if I have to open up the kit. Which is good, because now I know exactly what they are, as opposed to I assume.
Just move the bar forward.
Well, because I didn't. So let's see. Let's pull this off. And get this whole kit off of there. Let's see what this one has. And yes, sir. We have the bolt. See what's slotted? Head. There's spacers. Okay. So I'm assuming this is 42 through 46 style. The parts book, my 45 parts book, does not show this stuff in detail. You follow? That's why I'm making a video, because people need to know. And we have one of the washers is falling out. So we're missing one of the washers here. Oh, here it is. They're two together. See, here's two washers and the two really super thin nuts, and then the rear fender bolt to the top. So the factory, which is probably why they're all missing, didn't include a lock washer. They fell off. Smart of them. Cheap. Smart in a way to save money. And that's why I put lock washers on mine. But this here, as far as I know to determine, is the correct 42 to 45 washer setup for your bikes. Not a 40 or 41, but 42 to 45. Okay? That's that. So one other thing before we call this good for the night. So it's hard to argue when you're pulling it out of the package.
What are you eating? I just do the...
Hey, stop eating stuff you're not supposed to. Every 5 minutes is Susan's in trouble. Every 5 minutes. Now the other thing I've had a discussion with, which a buddy of mine in Europe asked me to take a photo. There's been a lot of scammers selling these on eBay as real when they're not, is the squash bird. Now, they've been reproducing these for quite some time, quite accurately, and there's been discussion whether or not they had bolted on ones. Well, if they ever did, a bolted on is a later replacement. Here's the proof. This is the original paint motorcycle, and we have, on this bike, we have clips. You follow? Those are clips. They're not bolts, those are clips. And this is the bike that, for the most part, is unmolested and never been apart. So that solves that argument. So if you have a bolted one, assuming it is real or not, I haven't solved that riddle. Whether the bolted ones are completely the reproduction or they are a later replacement. So we'll leave that for another discussion. But if you have an era bike, you have clips. Be all, end all, there it is. That's the discussion. They didn't suddenly make a bolted on in the last couple 142. I don't believe you. So that's that. That's the end of this little discussion, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye. Oh, before I go, should I leave this crash bar on, or should I put that crash bar on? Thoughts and comments, please. Bye-bye.